And I'll tell you exactly why I have a lot of faith in Stormgate. Because a few months back, they hosted, it wasn't an Ask Me Anything, it was I'll tell you a nine. And the reason for it is that a few months back, they had an open like forum or discussion in the subreddit for Stormgate, talking about like the esports side of things and what they were planning. And I threw in a couple of questions, and I didn't like I don't believe I prefaced it with I'm a tournament organizer for Age of Empires 4, I'm a Wikipedia contributor, and all of this. I just simply asked the question. I wasn't expecting them to have any knowledge of who I was. And they replied to me on the subreddit with like a meaningful answer. A little bit later, they sent me a DM on Discord asking me if if the answer was the thing that I was looking for, telling me, hey, we know that you organize tournaments in Age of Empires 4. Mind you, this is the time when I was doing like Warship Club every week, and it wasn't like a known thing. It was just a small tournament that I was running on Age of Empires 4. And they told me, hey, we know you do like Wikipedia stuff, and we've read your articles and all of this stuff. Bro, that's fucking crazy to me. I'm a dude who has what, like 350 followers on Twitter. I have like less than 100 subscribers, I think, on YouTube. I am so far below the bar of a relevant content creator or person outside of like the very niche behind the scenes stuff on Age of Empires 4. And I have a Stormgate developer reach out to me asking me my thoughts about things. It completely, and that never happened on Age of Empires 4. I've never had anybody from the Age of Empires side of things, from Relic side of things, from Microsoft side of things, come up to me and say, hey, what are the things that you struggle with as a tournament organizer? What can we try to focus on to make your lives easier? Or what's the sort of thing that you want to do in a tournament or can't do right now because of game difficulties, because of some other stuff? Like, no other developer has really done that. And the fact that for a game that has not even released, for a game that I didn't have like a lot of engagement with before I started going into the subreddit and talking about sort of things. And I wasn't big on the subreddit either. I would like maybe I posted twice before that question, but they clearly looked into who was asking that question and showed a legitimate interest into who I was. And I really deeply appreciated that because, like I said, that never happened with me and Microsoft. Microsoft never showed that it cared about the things that I had to say or the experience that I had with the game. And that kind of hands-on approach is the thing that makes me so confident about Stormgate, because I very much realize that they can't hear every voice, but that they are at least aware that there are voices out there that have opinions and they have ideas, and that more importantly, they have contributed to the development of competitive scenes, is the sort of thing that is going to make it very easy for them to get the feedback they need to make a good. And beyond my personal experience, the things they've put out when it comes to like what they're planning for esports side of things, how they want to make it a social game instead of just simply, obviously being a good RTS game is going to be the thing that really helps it be popular. But to be a social game, to be the kind of game that you can just have on in the background and use it as a social platform, the same way that people use like Brood War. There were a lot of people that were just opening up Brood War to go to the general channel and just troll and be nasty and then do all sorts of things, right? That was a fun experience to have in an era before like big social media. And if Stormgate can tap into that again with a new generation of people, I think that's going to be really cool. I think it's an opportunity to do like this is something that kind of came with baggage with Age of Empires 4 in terms of open casting. And this is something that you probably are very familiar with, Pilsen. But we do in Age of Empires a lot of open casting stuff. And I'm not saying that we should do close casting, but very few people, and I dare say nobody, has done the same type of co-streaming as we've seen in places like League of Legends, in Valorant, even in Overwatch, which is an esports that is legitimately about to die this year, but has this element of co-streaming where you're not casting the game, you're just talking about it. You're talking about the wider competitive scene, you're talking with other people in a call about what's happening around the game, what's the narrative around the scene. I think those things are valuable, and those things have never been introduced in like things like Age of Empires or StarCraft because they've become like burdened with this baggage of what a quote unquote traditional esports should be. And I think Stormgate has a really good opportunity to say, well, we're not just a traditional esports thing. We can do, this other cool stuff that more contemporary groups are doing. We can do a licensing system for tournament instead of relying on just do whatever and see what happens, right? So yeah, that is why I'm so positive on Stargate at the moment. But time will tell and see what happens. So yeah, it's officially August. I am absolutely elated that I don't have to update the ATR anymore. Fingers crossed, yeah. I won't be doing Warship Club, and yeah, I just get to chill. My Saturdays, I can now spend them doing nothing, which is somewhat refreshing. Thank you everybody who tuned in to watch me do this tier list and all my rants. I know my streams are a little bit rare, but potentially in the future they might not be as rare if everything goes. Look out on my Twitter or X, I suppose, for me posting the tier list and seeing anybody throwing a hot take. But yeah, thank you so much everybody for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you. See you all whenever I see you all.